This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
All right, and welcome to the GSMC Sports Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network, and as always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. All right, it's the beginning of the week. It's Monday, June 4th, and here's what we got going on. We're going to spend a couple of segments on this Cavs-Warriors series. All right, we're going to recap the game in the first, and then after that, we're going to talk about pretty much the series going forward. Talk about what the Cavs need to do, if there's anything they can do, and just get my thoughts on it so far. Third segment, we're going to be talking soccer, right? A bunch of different topics I want to cover. If we don't get to them all, then we'll spend some of the fourth segment talking about it, and then as we always do for the fourth segment, like I said, just talk about anything else going on in the world of sports. It's a pretty get-to-the-point show today. All right, like I said, it can be real focused on the NBA Finals. I mean, there's not really much else going on. We'll talk about Serena Williams and not facing off with Maria Sharapova in the fourth segment. Also, I don't know why it's considered a rivalry when Sharapova can't beat Williams. I don't understand it. Tiger Woods played well, so we'll cover all that today also. All right, but nonetheless, like I said, we got Cavs Warriors to start. And the story of Game 2 was, could the Cavs bounce back after that Game 1 debacle? Okay. And I think we all knew the answer to that question. I think we all figured that if the Cavs were going to take one against the Warriors at home, or on the road, I should say, it would be Game 1. All right. And obviously the Cavs failed to do the job there. And it seems like J.R. Smith finally admitted that, he had no clue what was going on at the end of the game, which is just ridiculous in itself. How are you in the finals and you can't pay attention to the little things? Like, I don't understand how you don't know what the score is, okay? I'm still not over that either. But nonetheless, I mean, it happened. No one's talking about George Hill missing his free throw. All right. But then again, I mean, people miss free throws all the time, so you can't really blame them there. All right. But nonetheless, like I said, people were looking forward to Game 2, saying, can the Cavs get it done? Are they going to be able to pull an upset here? And of course, no, they couldn't. All right. No one should be surprised. The Warriors won 122-103. For the Cavs, you had LeBron, who played 44 minutes, had 29 points, 13 assists, 9 rebounds, shot 10 of 20, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. I mean, those are really good numbers. Shot 54% from the field, nearly had a triple-double, had a couple of steals, but that's not going to be enough to beat the Warriors. All right, Kevin Love, who is kind of the forgotten one in this series, has played well both games. He had 22 points, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, a block. He shot 7 of 18 from the field, 3 of 8 from the three-point line. Tristan Thompson played a little better in this one. As far as scoring on the boards, not so much. He had 11 points, 5 rebounds. He shot 5 of 8. George Hill played well. He had 15 points, 3 assists, 2 steals. Shot 5 of 12 from the field, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. J.R. Smith, we were going to see if he'd have a little pick-me-up game right here, kind of a little change the narrative type thing. He didn't. He had 5 points. 2 assists, 1 rebound, was a -9 out there. Shot 2 of 9 from the field, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. And with J.R. Smith, I think it's just a point in his career where he's just, I think, too old. All right? He's not how he was when he was with the Nuggets, and he's not how he was when he was with the Knicks. It's just a point where he might just be coming to the end of his career, kind of the point where he's still good enough to be in the league, but he's not going to be playing with any contending team. All right? Unless LeBron brings him wherever he goes. J.R. Smith's already 32, and I mean, for most, besides obviously the guys like LeBron and all that, that's about the time where you start to digress a bit. All right, I think that's what we're seeing here. It's not more so that J.R. is just bad, it's just J.R. is old. Okay? So there's that. Let's see, off the bench, you had Larry Nance, who played 12 minutes, didn't play as well as he did in Game 1. He had 2 points, did have 6 rebounds. He shot 0 of 1 from the field, 12 minutes. He was a minus 13 out there. Let's see. Jeff Green played 20 minutes. He wasn't great by any means. He had 6 points, 2 rebounds, shot 2 of 7. Kyle Korver, who has seemingly, I guess, disappeared for these first 2 games, played 17 minutes. He had 1 point, 2 rebounds, and was a minus 18 out there. All right, shot 0 of 3 from the field. That's not great. And then you got Rodney Hood, who played 4 minutes, obviously garbage time and all that. Had 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, shot 1 of 2. It seems that Rodney Hood has seemingly forgot that he is a professional NBA player and he is here for a reason. Okay, he's talked about how he watches his old Jazz highlights just to remember he's good. It's ridiculous how weak he is mentally, I guess, as far as the game of basketball itself goes. Of course, you're good. All right. I mean, these players, I don't understand how you forget you're good or whatever. You just look down on yourself. It's obviously you just don't fit into the team. All right, go somewhere else after this season. I don't know. It just makes no sense to me there. But anyway, yeah, he's, like I said, it's weird seeing him say that he watches his old Jazz highlights, or people say he watches his old Jazz highlights to remember that he's good. For the Warriors, you had Draymond Green, who had 5 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds, shot 2 of 4. Kevin Durant had 26 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks, shot 10 of 14, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. JaVale McGee went 6 of 6 from the field. He had 12 points, 2 rebounds, like I said, shot 6 of 6 in 18 minutes. See, Mike Breen was going crazy over the fact that McGee went 6 for 6 from the field, but how impressive is it when he's just dunking, okay? I mean, it's more impressive with Sean Livingston going 5 for 5 than it is McGee going 6 for 6. I get it's JaVale McGee, and we don't really expect these kind of, I guess, we don't expect him to go 100% from the field, but unless all the guy does is dunk, he's about 7 feet tall. He should not miss a dunk. I don't think it's that important that he went 6 for 6 off of dunks. All right? But nonetheless, I mean, like I said, Mike Breen was going crazy over it. Then you had Steph Curry, who played 38 minutes. He had 33 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, shot 11 of 26, 9 of 17 from the three-point line there. Klay Thompson had 20 points, 2 rebounds, shot 8 of 13, 3 of 8 from the three-point line, and then off the bench, you had David West, okay? Played 11 minutes, only took 1 shot. That was a three-pointer. Last time he hit a three-pointer, I believe, was in November, okay? He hit that 3. As soon as I saw David West hit that three-pointer, I was watching the game with my dad. I looked at him, told him this game's over. If David West is hitting that, Cavs aren't coming back. It's over. All right. So he did that. Kevin Looney played 11 minutes, didn't have any points, had 1 rebound, 1 assist. Missed 4 free throws, so no real production there. Jordan Bell played 11 minutes. He had 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Also a steal. He shot 2 of 3. Also came up with a nice little steal, momentum steal there. I think it was like towards the end of the third quarter, maybe in the fourth. Like I said, Sean Livingston went 5 for 5 from the field, had 10 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist in 15 minutes. I mean, he might be the best mid-range jump shooter in the league if you don't think so about Kevin Durant or DeMar DeRozan. And then you had Nick Young, who played 14 minutes, goose egg, 0 points, 0 of 5 from the field, 1 rebound. Obviously not great, but nonetheless did matter. Warriors won by 19. Warriors finished the game shooting 57% from the field, 41% from 3. Let's see, the Cavs shot 41% from the field, 33% from 3. Obviously, there's a difference, okay? And watching this game, it was just one where there's nothing to take from this. We all knew what was going to happen, okay? Unless you were a Cavs fan. If so, you were just a little bit delusional, to be honest. All right, we all know how Game 2 was going to go. There was no surprise there. There's nothing to take away. All right, it's just more so now we got to head back to Cleveland. Like I said, I'm going to talk about that in the next segment. But, I mean, watching this game, it's like Cleveland kept it close for most of the game, okay? And they even outscored the Warriors in the third quarter, all right? And it's just, there was just no coming back. It's like, I think it was Game 4 between Boston and Cleveland in the last series. All right, Boston was down by about high single digits, about 9 or 8 the entire game, and you're waiting for them to make the run. Looks like they're going to start, and eventually Cleveland ends up hitting a big shot or whatever to kind of shut down the run. That was this game here. Okay, Cleveland kept it close for most of the game, and every time Cleveland tried making a run, it's just the Warriors would hit a shot or come up with some momentum play, whether it's Kevin Durant hitting a pull-up 3, whether it's Steph Curry dribbling around like a madman, throwing the ball up in the air with no intention to make it, and it still goes in. Okay? I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, it's it's ridiculous how every time he throws the ball to the hoop, it nearly goes in at least. Okay? Sometimes it's just he's not even looking at the basket. He'll just throw it up. It's ridiculous. All right? I don't understand it, honestly. I understand with players like hitting deep shots or whatever, going through their normal jump shot motion, but when you got Steph Curry literally just throwing the ball up in the air, which is what it practically looked like, and it still goes in, the guy's just a wizard. That's it. Okay? Steph Curry is a wizard. All right? And not a Washington Wizard, just a normal wizard. It's ridiculous how this guy continues to just, I don't even want to say get lucky because he does this all the time. All right? And it's just stuff like that is what killed Cleveland. All right? You got Klay Thompson in transition, J.R. Smith near him. What am I going to do? Rather than go drive in, let me pull up for a three right here. Swish. Easy. Okay? This Cavs team, for the first two games, probably played about, I don't want to say as well as you could, but nonetheless did their best. I don't know. All right? And it still doesn't matter. LeBron's got to be distraught. J.R. Smith's got to realize he's done. Kevin Love's just there showing up, collecting a paycheck, doing his job. All right? And everyone else on Cleveland has kind of just not showed up. As far as the Warriors go, I mean, I guess I got to be a bit professional here. I'm not going to congratulate them on their championship. I guess I'll wait till game 5 or 4 to do that. But nonetheless, I mean, there's nothing Cleveland can do. All right? And actually, there is. We're going to talk about it in the next segment. But nonetheless, I mean, it's just watching the game yesterday. It's like, what more? What else is there left? Okay? What else? The Warriors are just too good. All right? I mean, like I said, when you got David West hitting a three, you know you have no chance. All right? And I don't know. I just feel like maybe the Cavs are out of answers. But like I said, we're going to spend the next segment trying to come up with answers for the Cavs as to how they get back in the series. So we'll be doing that. All right, but nonetheless, you got the Warriors who are up 2-0 right now. So let's wrap it up here. Like I said, we're going to continue talking about, probably touch a little bit more on this game or whatnot, but also look at it forward, what the Cavs need to do, game 3, games 4, if there's anything. So stay tuned for that, and I will be right back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines. They got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. We spent that first segment just recapping the game between the Warriors and Cavs, talking about Game 2 specifically that took place on Sunday. Now we're going to stay with the finals and move on to, I guess, just talking about what Cleveland needs to do going forward, if there's anything, and just give thoughts here. All right. And I mean, like I said, watching the game yesterday, when you got David West hitting a three, all right. Obviously, Mike Breen going on about how JaVale McGee is 6 for 6 from the field after just dunking the ball, which, I mean, you should never miss a dunk if you're JaVale McGee, and only JaVale McGee, I guess, could miss a dunk. So I guess maybe there's a significance of it. All right. You got Sean Livingston, who's going 5 for 5 from the mid-range. I mean, just hitting every shot that he wants. Steph Curry, pretty much doing what I do at a pickup game, throwing the ball up in the air, hoping it goes in, except for the difference between me and him is his goes in. Mine, it goes behind the hoop, and I got to run back to the grass behind the basketball hoop to go pick it up. All right? And it's just now with the Cavs, I mean, you got LeBron who's putting up a near 30-point triple-double, and it doesn't even mean anything because we think, you know what, that still wasn't good enough from him. He needs to be better. It's a bit ridiculous how this series has gone on. All right. But nonetheless, I mean, we've all seen this before, right? We all know how this movie ends. As much as I want to hope that Cleveland can come back, I mean, can they? We've seen this movie before. We watched it last year. All right? We did. And it's just now, I mean, we got games 3 and games 4, game 3 on Wednesday. I think Cleveland might get a game in Cleveland, obviously, maybe. All right. But without a doubt, both of these here, game 3 and games 4, are must-wins. There's no doubt. You lose one of them, series ends on Sunday or Monday, whenever game 5 is. Okay? Because you're not winning in Oracle, and that's just fact of the matter. All right, Cleveland's chance in this series, we've said it before, and I will say it again, was game 1. But obviously, because of some low basketball IQ and bad free throw shooting, it didn't happen. All right, and there's a video that came out, shows LeBron's reaction after finding out that they had a timeout. People were trying to say, oh, he should have rallied the team or whatnot. When the dude puts up 50 before overtime, near a triple-double, and the team makes mistakes like that, obviously you're going to hang your head down a bit. All right. And I have no problem with it. I mean, I'm not even mad at LeBron more, so I'm just waiting for him to get out of Cleveland. Okay. And, I mean, like I said, it's just now going forward, what can the Cavs do to keep this a series? And it's not what can they do, it's what they have to do. And what they have to do is win games 3 and games 4. And I guess now we got to try and figure out a way to do that. So let's get into some in-depth analysis, okay? Watching these games, I mean, a start would be, how about we get more than just LeBron, Kevin Love to show up, okay? How about we get some other production? George Hill, I will give it to him, has been pretty decent, okay? I'm not going to go out on a limb or go on the edge and say, oh, yeah, he's been great or anything like that, because, I mean, he simply hasn't. All right, let me look at George Hill's game 1 stats here. I think, he put up 13 in game 2. Game 1, he put up 7 points. So obviously, it wasn't great. Okay? Nance played all right. But nonetheless, like I said, a start for Cleveland would be, how about the rest of this team show up? Okay? How about we actually play some decent basketball and produce? Rather than leaning on LeBron, having Kevin Love do his thing, which he has done. Like I said, Kevin Love is the forgotten player in this series now. He's averaging about, in the 2 games, about 21 and 10. Or 21 and 11, or whatever you want to call it. Okay? And now, it's just, that's the start. Second, how about we give some effort on defense? How about we switch? How about we run to the guy we're going to switch on rather than just letting him get open? It is ridiculous how easy it is for Steph Curry to get open in this series. Okay? And one of the biggest players on this team, this Cavs team, that has struggled to do that, to get back on their mat, is J.R. Smith. He's had, without a doubt, probably his worst finals since he's been in Cleveland, going to the finals. Okay? Honestly. And, yeah, that's the second thing right there. Get to your man. Don't wait. Don't lag. Okay? I don't get it. I'm not sure if it's just a professional basketball player type thing, if it's just a professional athlete type thing, or what, but these guys refuse to give effort. Alright, it's almost like some prima donna stuff. I don't understand it. Why in the biggest games of your lives are you not giving it all on the court? Alright, and maybe it's just, I don't know it, I'm not a pro, I played high school ball and that's it, okay? But, not high school basketball, just high school sports in general. Okay, and maybe you give it all there, but eventually when you start getting paid, you start making business decisions. I'm not sure, honestly. I'm just throwing stuff out there, maybe trying to find an explanation. I don't get why this Cleveland team is so bad at switching. All right, why they're so bad at giving effort on defense. Third thing, how about, and this is a weird concept, a crazy concept, okay, but hear me out here. Why not just have someone follow Steph the entire time? Okay, I saw George Hill was doing it for a bit. Obviously, he struggled a little. But just keep someone on Steph Curry at all times. Okay? Try and take him out the game. All right? I remember back when Boston had Avery Bradley and they were playing each other twice a year or whatnot. Avery Bradley, his job, don't let Steph Curry out of your sight. From their side of the court to our side of the court, do not let him go. That's what the Cavs need to do. I don't understand why it's so difficult for teams in the NBA to realize, yeah, how about we press him a bit? Okay? Rather than, you know what, let's give him his space. Okay, he's not going to hit every shot, which is just ridiculous. It is, honestly. All right, so there's a thought there. Let's see, do I have a fourth? Or are those the three biggest things right there? I mean, it all just like, I think that is it. Those are the top three things that the Cavs need to do. Okay? First and foremost, those other guys got to show up. Korver, singing his praises all postseason long. First round and second round. All right? And the third round. As soon as he gets to the finals, where's Kyle Korver? All right? Have not seen him once, meaning have not needed to pay attention because he's not done anything. Jeff Green played well Game 7 against Boston. Where did you go? Where did you go, Jeff Green? All right. Let's see. Who else has not showed up? J.R. Smith. I'm not even holding my breath for J.R. Smith. I just think he's done. Okay. Honestly, he's just done. Kevin Love has been fine. Kevin Love and LeBron have been the Cavs' two best players, and that's the way it should be. Larry Nance, probably want to pick it up a little bit more. I understand you played well in Game 1, but you didn't for Game 2. And Ty Lue, how about maybe we throw Rodney Hood out there? Okay, I understand the guy's confidence is a little bit shook, but maybe getting him out there in the game will help it. Because you know what? He can't be any worse than Jordan Clarkson. I will tell you that much. All right? Let me see what Jordan Clarkson did in Game 2. And there's no way in the world it was decent. All right, let me see. Clarkson only played 8 minutes. He had 2 points. You're telling me that Rodney Hood maybe couldn't do that? Rodney Hood had 2 points in 4 minutes, shot better. Okay. I mean, let's figure it out. All right. But yeah, that's one thing I would try. Maybe get rid of Jordan Clarkson and throw Rodney Hood out there. See what he can do. Give the guy some playing time. What more do you have to lose, honestly? Okay? Honestly, what more do you have to lose? No one is expecting you to win this series. No one. So you should be exhausting every option that you have at your disposal to try and get back in this. And believe it or not, as bad as he's been, Rodney Hood is one of those options. Because you know what? Like I said, he can't be worse than Jordan Clarkson. All right? Simply can't be. So we'll see what they end up doing. But like I said, those are the three biggest things right there. Getting production from everyone else besides Kevin Love and LeBron. All right? Put in more effort on defense, specifically the switches. Okay? And have someone follow Steph Curry the entire time. He's going to score, but make it difficult at least. How about that? Let's just make it a little difficult. I mean, it's honestly just, it's just do something. Show some heart. How about that? And as for the Warriors, I mean, there's nothing to say about them. This team is just simply, might just be unbeatable right now versus Cleveland. All right, because let's say that you do throw a guy on Steph, do fluster him a bit. Steph doesn't really look too good. Let me pass the ball out to Kevin Durant right here, one of the greatest scorers of all time. Okay? Oh, someone's coming. How about I dish it out to Klay Thompson, probably the second best shooter of all time. All right. Oh, I'm not here. Oh, wow. Sean Livingston's on the floor. He's right there by the paint. Let me throw it to him because he's not going to miss. It's ridiculous how good this Warriors team is. All right. And more so now in basketball, it's whoever has the best player on the court is going to win the series. But that doesn't apply here since the Warriors are a great team with a bunch of great players. Okay, the best player on the floor is LeBron James in this series. In order to beat the Warriors, you kind of got to go against that. You need to have a great team where you got great players and you got a great bench all around. All right. We're going to have Andre Iguodala coming back probably for Game 3. He does pretty well guarding LeBron. All right. So that number one point I made as far as everyone else thinking to step up, yeah, you're going to have to do that soon. Okay. And if not, I mean, we'll see. But I'm thinking about it now. Realistically, given where the league is going forward. I mean, meaning where you got the Celtics were adding Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward next year. Philly's getting better. Houston almost beat the Warriors. How many championships can we see the Warriors getting in the near future? They're going to win this one, I think. Okay? So that'll give them, I'm talking about this dynasty specifically too. All right, so that'll give them 3. I think that they'll be done. I think the most they'll get is 5. Okay? And I'm not saying they're going to get 5 for sure. I think that's going to be their cap. I don't think they'll win more than 5 if they do get to 5. All right. I think eventually it's going to get a little bit more difficult because eventually the league does catch up with whatever you're doing. And we've seen that in every professional sport across the board. But nonetheless, I mean, we could just be witnessing Jordan's Bulls in this form here. Okay? In the 90s, all people knew was Jordan winning the title. The Bulls winning the title. All right, and I think that might just be what we're going with right here. Just the Warriors winning the title all the time. I mean, Draymond Green doesn't get suspended for Game 5 in 2016. Chances are the Warriors already got 4 in a row. Or 3 in a row. This could be their 4th. Okay? It's ridiculous how dominant this team has been. But like I said, I mean, I think their max is going to be 5 because eventually I do think that the rest of the league is going to catch up. So we'll see what ends up happening, but I did want to spend 2 segments on this series. Like I said, I mean, Cavs need the other guys to step up. They haven't at all. All right, it's just Kevin Love and LeBron out there. How about we give some effort on defense and just throw someone on Steph Curry, please? Just do it. Maybe it'll work. All right? So like I said, we're going to wrap it up here. Next up, we're going to be talking about a variety of different soccer topics. So stay tuned, and I will be right back.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA, from the UFC to extreme cage fighting. They got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. We spent these first 2 segments basically talking about the Cavs and Warriors, more so about the Cavs in the second segment, but I mean, pretty much first segment was just to recap a game 2. Second segment, we talked about what the Cavs needed to do in games 3 and games 4 in order to win. Do I think they would win? Of course not. They'll be lucky to take 1, and I think the series is over in 5. But nonetheless, we'll see what ends up going down. All right. But now we're going to be talking soccer, football, your favorite sport. All right. And it's not going to be like just one set topic, but we're going to go over a couple of things, okay? First up, let's talk about Leroy Sané being left off of Germany's World Cup squad. A bit of a surprise there, okay? A bit, let me tell you. All right. You had Leroy Sané, who was the Young Player of the Year over in England for the Premier League. Okay. And you figured that he'd be a shoo-in to make this Germany squad, given how good he is. All right. Let's look at his Premier League stats this season. So as far as goals, let's pick it up. Goals, he scored 10 goals, okay? Assists, he was second in the league with 15, which is pretty great, I'd say so. All right. Let's see how many chances he created this year. Created 14 chances this season, which was 12. So he's a bit of a playmaker, I'd say so. All right. and he doesn't even get to play in the World Cup. It's honestly, I'm not going to doubt Germany because they run their system and all that, but it's a point where you do need to keep a guy like that. You need to keep a guy like that on your team. Okay, kind of like with Belgium and Angola. All right, I understand that Germany has their set of tactics, and I understand this move more than I understand the Angolan move. I think the Angolan move, leaving him off, was just more so Roberto Martinez and Angolan didn't get together at all or get along at all. And it's just more so Martinez being the coach, being like, you know what, I don't have to bring you in, so I'm not going to bring you in, which is ridiculous in itself. But nonetheless, like I said, I mean, if you're Germany, you're going to be playing teams where you're going to have to switch up your style of play. All right, and Sane is good for that. Okay, I understand Sane is more of a winger, and Germany really don't play that way, but it's a point where the guy gets the job done. Okay, and he does it well. All right. And it's just a point where what's the problem of bringing him on and keeping him on the bench? Because I know there's going to be some players that Germany brought on that they just simply won't play. Okay, they're just there to fill out the squad. And every World Cup team has that. Why not Leroy Sané there? All right, let me see if I could pull up Germany's full 20-man or 23-man squad here and see exactly who they did bring in. All right. So Germany brought Neuer, Ter Stegen, Kevin Trapp. This is goalies. You got Hummels, Boateng, Hector, Rudiger, Schüle, Kimmich, Plattenhardt, and Ginter as the defenders. Toni Kroos, Draxler, Ozil, Mueller, Goretzka, Gundogan, Khedira, Royce, Brandt, and Rudy as the midfielders. Then you got Mario Gomez and Timo Werner as the forwards. Why not bring in Sané over Julian Brandt? All right. I think Julian Brandt's a good player, but I mean, Sané's better than him, right? Unless I'm just entirely mistaken. All right. He played great over Manchester City. Brandt played well over in the Bundesliga. And it's just a point where I do think that Sané is much better. Okay. Julian Brandt probably won't get any playing time. All right. I don't see him getting minutes over Royce, Gundogan, Mueller, Draxler, Ozil. All right. Well, he's not even out of the midfielders that they brought. He's not top 5. Okay. But of course, Germany know what they're doing, I guess. So, I guess you just have nothing but to trust him. All right. But nonetheless, I mean, it is a shock of a move not to bring him. So, that's all I want to say about that. I just wanted to touch on it a bit. Let's see. We had Karius, Liverpool goalie. Okay. The guy who had the 2 blunders playing keeper in the Champions League final. You know what happened with him? He had a concussion before that. All right. And do you know who gave him that concussion? None other than Sergio Ramos. Okay. And this is an issue that I feel needs to, not more so Ramos elbowing Karius and Karius getting the concussion, but well, no, it is Karius getting the concussion. I don't care how he got it. He got a concussion. I think that's one thing that the soccer world needs to do better at. Okay, is diagnosing him and getting the player off the pitch once it happens. I understand the game usually played more so with your feet rather than your head, but there's a point where maybe this is what hurt Karius out there with those errors. Okay, he was concussed. All right, and that's a bit ridiculous that he played the entire game and it's just now after what? About when was the Champions League final? I think it was the 23rd of May, the 26th, I believe. Are we really? It feels like it's been quite some time. We've only been about 2 weekends past it if you're including that same weekend. All right, I guess it's only been about a week, but nonetheless, we're just barely finding out about it. Okay, that's a problem. FIFA needs to take these concussions a whole lot more serious. Some actual testing All right. I could care less what anyone else thinks about it. FIFA definitely does need to look into it. Okay, you can't be having Karius playing most of the Champions League final concussed. It's going to hurt him. It's going to hurt the team. And you don't really want anything bad to come from it. All right. So obviously, I'm not going to say that that's the exact reason why he made those 2 errors, but that could contribute to it. Okay. And then Sergio Ramos, and I remember too him elbowing Karius, and I was thinking more, so why aren't we talking about this more rather than we're talking about Salah getting hurt? And I understand Salah's probably the bigger story, but there's a point where, Ramos, he's got to be a little bit better. Okay, and I do think that this elbow was intentional also. All right, because I remember it, like I said, I didn't really talk about it because, it just wasn't a story, and it's only a story now because Kyrie's got a concussion. All right, but Ramos does need to do better as far as being a defender. He's world class, so he doesn't need to get into these little dirty tactics or whatever. You shouldn't be dragging players down and crushing their shoulder, and you shouldn't be elbowing players in the head. Okay? But nonetheless, there he is doing it. All right. But I just wanted to bring that up. Let's see what else is going on. It's just more so now getting ready for the World Cup. World Cup starts in 10 days. All right, I believe it's Russia and Saudi Arabia, I think, in the first game. Let me see. I believe it is. Oh, yeah, we got Mohamed Salah, too. Put on the Egypt 23-man squad, obviously, so he will be at the World Cup. And I think that we all knew he would. Even if he couldn't play the first game or whatnot, I'd still say that you bring him on anyway. Yeah, it'll be Russia versus Saudi Arabia in the first matchup. That's June 14th, which is going to be next week on a Thursday at 8 a.m. Definitely will be up for that. We got Egypt, Uruguay on Friday. Uruguay's going to be a very good team also at this World Cup. Uruguay always has a squad where, they got arguably the best defense in the world, just the most consistent, and they got great strikers. I got a great striker in Luis Suarez. I'm not the biggest fan of Edson Cavani. I remember one time when I went to the Copa America match over at Levi's Stadium, watched Uruguay and Jamaica play. Cavani literally had about 10 chances to score, and he just struggled every time. All right, so let's see. Yeah, first day, you got Russia, Saudi Arabia, only one game that day. The day after, which is Friday the 15th, okay, you got Egypt, Uruguay, Morocco, Iran, Portugal, Spain. All right, Saturday comes, we got France, Australia, Argentina, Iceland, Peru, Denmark. Peru could make it out of their group. I would not be surprised at all. Ooh, we got 4 games going on that night, I believe. Yeah, we got 4. Like I said, France, Australia, Argentina, Iceland, which should be, I don't know. I'm going to watch that. These are a bunch of good games on Saturday. All right, Peru, Denmark, and I said Croatia, Nigeria. That's going to be a fun one to watch there. Wow, France, Australia at 3 o'clock in the morning. I might have to get up for that one. Who knows? Okay. And then on Sunday, you got Costa Rica, Serbia, Germany, Mexico, Brazil, Switzerland, and then Monday, all right, the final day of the first group stage matches, we got Sweden, South Korea, Belgium, Panama, Tunisia, England, Colombia, Japan, and then Poland versus Senegal. Those are all going to be very good games to watch. All right, and actually Colombia, Japan, Poland, Senegal is on Tuesday. All right, so then match day 2 of the group stage starts Wednesday. All right, so I'm very much looking forward to the World Cup. We're going to be talking a lot of World Cup once it starts on the show, so be ready. All right, but nonetheless, we're going to wrap it up here. Next up, we're going to be talking about various topics going on in the world of sports. I'll give my thoughts on them, so stay tuned, and I will be right back.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red-hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's gsmcpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. So far today, we've talked soccer, we've talked NBA Finals. All right, we spent the first two segments. We spent the first segment recapping Game 2 between Cleveland and Golden State. Spent the second segment talking about what Cleveland needs to do for Games 3 and Games 4. And then we spent the third segment talking about a bunch of different soccer topics. Also went over the first match day 1 of the World Cup schedule. All right, now we're going to be talking about anything else going on in the world of sports and the Memorial Tournament. Okay, Tiger Woods was playing well on Friday. Obviously didn't get a chance to talk about it since then because we don't do the show on Saturday or Sunday. But nonetheless, Bryson DeChambeau was your winner, won in a playoff. Okay, him, Myung-Hun An, and Kyle Stanley faced off in that playoffs. Obviously, it was with Brian DeChambeau coming out as the winner. All right, so he won the tournament. You had Phil Mickelson coming in tied for 13th at 10 under. Rory McIlroy at 11 under, tied for 8th. And then over in 23rd place, Tiger Woods. All right, 9 under. Didn't do himself any favors on Sunday. Had the same score, 72, as Thursday. Friday and Saturday, 67 and 68. Tiger, so close, so close. Okay? And you got to think that he's going to get one win eventually, right? I understand that now it's just more so enjoying Tiger while he's still here and not retired. All right? Well, there's a point where I think Tiger could get one. Okay? I really think he could. Tiger's been creeping up a bit. He's had a couple of bad tournaments. He's had more so a majority of his tournaments since he's been back have been better rather than bad. All right, and I just think it's just all he's got to do is just put it together. All right, he's put it together for 2 rounds. He's done it for 3 and messed up on 1. He's got to do it for all 4 if he wants to get back into it and win a tournament. And I think he's going to be able to do that. It's just more so just waiting for him to do that. Okay? But nonetheless, I mean, Tiger did well. And now it's just more so just waiting for the guy to come back. All right? But nonetheless, he did have a chance. Okay? If he shot better on Sunday, you got to think that he'd be up there in that top 5 leaderboard. All right? But nonetheless, that's what was going on. Wanted to give some thoughts on it. And then we got Serena Williams. Okay? Was supposed to face off with Maria Sharapova, but ended up dropping out with a pectoral injury. Okay? And they talk about Maria Sharapova and Serena Williams as this rivalry. What rivalry? Okay? What rivalry are we talking about? There's no rivalry when Serena Williams dominates Sharapova every time they face off. Okay? Honestly. Let me see. I'm trying to pull up the head-to-head record right here just to get some facts. All right. Let's see if we can find it. All right, so head-to-head. Look at this. Look at this. All right, and they calling this a rivalry. They are literally calling this a rivalry. As far as the wins, head-to-head, Serena Williams, 19. Maria Sharapova, 2. They've played 21 times. Sharapova's only won twice. Let's see. We'll go. 2004 Miami Masters, first time. Serena Williams beat Sharapova 2 sets. Wimbledon, 2004. Sharapova gets the better of Serena Williams in 2 sets. All right. And the WTA Championships. Sharapova gets Serena Williams. She beat her twice in a row in 3 sets. All right. Then after that, all right, we had the Australian Open. Serena Williams wins. The Australian Open final the next year. Or 2007, Serena Williams wins. 2007, the Miami Masters. Serena Williams wins. 2008 in Charleston. All right, Serena Williams versus Maria Sharapova. Serena Williams wins. 2010, we had Wimbledon. Serena Williams wins. 2011, Stanford. Serena Williams wins. I mean, I'm not even going to go through it. It'd be redundant. We all know. I don't understand what rivalry everyone is talking about. And I'm not the biggest tennis person or anything like that, okay? But I know that there's not a rivalry when there's not a rivalry, and there definitely is not a rivalry between Maria Sharapova and Serena Williams. In order for it to be a rivalry, it has to be back and forth at least, or at least a little competitive. It hasn't been competitive. Stop trying to make it a thing. It's not a thing. All right? Serena Williams might just be the greatest women's tennis player of all time, and if anything, the greatest tennis player of all time. All right? And I think what I'm saying isn't off by any means. All right? But nonetheless, I mean, yeah, Serena Williams won't be taking place in this matchup, obviously because of the pectoral injury. She says she can't even serve it. So, I guess Maria Sharapova gets off easy on this one. All right, but again, stop trying to push the narrative of there being a rivalry when there isn't, because it's a little embarrassing. Okay, so there's that. Stanley Cup Finals, we got the Washington Capitals up 2-1 on the Vegas Golden Knights. I think the Capitals are going to end up taking this the championship here. And I saw that Vegas has a parade ready either way if they win or lose. Why are you going to throw a parade if you lose? What's the parade for? Oh, wow, we almost won in our first year? I mean, come on now. This is almost as bad as UCF trying to claim themselves as national champs. Okay? I'm not with this movement of, you know what, we feel we deserve one, we get one. No, I could care less. UCF, you're not national champs. That's Alabama. Okay? That's the way college football goes. All right, the team who wins the college football playoff wins the national title. I could care less that you beat Auburn. I could care less that Alabama lost to Auburn. It means nothing. You didn't make the playoff. All right, if you're going to complain to anyone, it's the people the committee. All right, but I will tell you this, Alabama are the national champs, and it's not UCF. Okay? In the same way where you're throwing a parade, win or lose, that's a bit ridiculous. Okay? Actually, that's extremely ridiculous. I could care less if it's your first season. Professional hockey players. All right? It's either you win it or you don't. You shouldn't get a parade if you don't. All right? I noticed today I'm a little on the edge right now today on this podcast. In a bit of a ranting mode, I feel. All right? But like I said, I mean, the whole we're going to throw a parade even if we lose. Like, for what? You didn't win anything. I could care less if you played well in your expansion season. It means nothing. No one's going to care. Okay? And also, too, I mean, this Vegas team is going to be bad eventually. Okay? It's tough. These fans are spoiled with how well they've played this season. But nonetheless, I mean, don't throw a parade if you lose, please. I mean, come on now. All right? And then we got Patrick Mahomes, okay? Going to be the starting quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs this season, and boy, oh boy. All right? Boy, oh boy. This guy says that he will not be taking any endorsements until he proves himself on the field. Soon as I saw that, I shook my head. What are you doing, guy? What are you doing? All right? I understand it's the whole, I want to prove myself. If I don't deserve endorsements yet, I haven't done anything. That's cool. Okay, that's fine. But let me tell you something. This is a job. Okay? You are out here doing a job where the point is to make money. And I understand we still got some I do it for the love of the game guys out there. And that's cool. It's a bit naive, I think. All right? Because you blow one knee out, the team's not going to care about you at all. You'll get cut. Or better yet, you'll come back from your injury not as good. And they'll get rid of you. Okay? I don't understand it. And he's going to learn it eventually. Okay? He will. But nonetheless, turning down endorsements because you haven't proved yourself yet is one of the odder things I've seen in the NFL. And it's the NFL, and you guys know that we have no shortage of odd happenings in this league. Okay? And it's just like, how do you turn down money? Okay? Miss me with the whole, I want to prove myself idea. Alright, that's cool. But realize what you're doing. Okay? Realize the money you're passing up. And it's probably not even big money endorsements or anything like that, but nonetheless, it's still side change. Okay? Let's say that John Doe's local car shop over in Kansas City wants to offer him, I don't even know how these endorsements work, about $100,000, $200,000 to go do commercials. Why not do it? All right, what if Mahomes, let's say Mahomes is turning down all these endorsements, all right, with Gatorade, whatever, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm just throwing out random names out there. All right, turning down this money. Let's say Mahomes doesn't play well. All right, when he's the quarterback of the Chiefs, let's just say that Mahomes isn't a NFL caliber quarterback, which is probably not going to be the case, but I'm just throwing out hypotheticals. Let's say he's not. All right. You probably would have hoped, I should have took those endorsements, would have had some extra change lying around, because you're not going to be making a big money deal if you can't play ball. All right. So that's cool. Mahomes wants to bet on himself. I think it's a bit odd, and I think it's a dumb decision, but nonetheless, I mean, I'm not the one who's out there. It's his decision. All right. But I don't like the whole I want to prove myself mentality before I do anything else. Get yours before the NFL gets you. Okay? That should be every player's mindset, because eventually the NFL will come and it will get you. All right? And you better hope that you're prepared for it, because everyone's day comes in that league. So, we'll see. I mean, if he plays well, I guess he's going to get paid, but turning down endorsements, that's a real PR move there. I wonder if his agent was behind that move. I highly doubt he was. Or she. Not sure who his agent is. All right. But nonetheless, wanted to give my thoughts on that. So we're going to wrap it up here. Today we talked Cavs-Warriors Game 2. Warriors won that one 102-103, or 122-103, I believe. Second segment, we talked about what the Cavs need to do in Games 3 and Games 4. How about we play some defense, switch up on defense a bit. Let's follow Steph Curry, and let's have the other guys besides LeBron and Kevin Love actually produce. Third segment, we talked about a bunch of different soccer topics, and then segment 4, we talked Pat Mahomes, Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, and we touched on Vegas and Washington. All right. So thanks for listening to the GSMC Sports Podcast. As always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. I will be back tomorrow, so stay tuned, and I will talk to you later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.